Hello, little friends. Welcome to our story Handwashing Mission, Lucy's Clean Challenge. Today, we're going to join little cat Lucy on a fun adventure as she learns why washing her hands is so important for staying healthy and happy. On a bright morning in Forest Park, sunlight poured over the lush, green grass, and a gentle breeze softly rustled the leaves. Little cat Lucy stood nearby, watching her friends gathered at the water tap. Her ears perked up slightly, and she looked puzzled. Why do we have to wash our hands? Lucy wondered as she looked down at her paws. Her pink little paw pads looked perfectly clean, she couldn't see any dirt. Tilting her head and gently swishing her tail, she murmured to herself, "My paws look so clean. Are there really any germs?" At that moment, little dog Eddie stood at the water tap, scrubbing his paws with soapy bubbles and beaming a cheerful smile. His ears moved playfully as the crisp sound of running water filled the air. Laughing, he said, "There are lots of invisible germs on our hands. If we don't wash them, those germs might even get into our tummies." Lucy furrowed her brows and examined her paws closely, yet she still couldn't spot anything unusual. She raised one paw, gazing thoughtfully at her fingertips. Meanwhile, little rabbit Max stood on the grass holding a cookie. Just as he was about to take a bite, he paused and wore a thoughtful expression. Looking down at his own hand with a slight frown, he then puckered his lips in mock disgust and said, "If there are invisible germs on your paws, and you grab a cookie to eat, is that really okay?" After hearing this, Lucy wrinkled her nose and looked at her paws once more, starting to feel a bit uncertain. Licking her lips, she whispered, "It sounds like they might not be as clean as I thought." Little Panda Bella, standing by the water tap, reached out and handed Lucy a piece of soap. Her black and white fur looked especially soft in the sunlight, and her round ears gently shook as she spoke tenderly. "Give it a try, Lucy. Washing your hands will feel so refreshing." Lucy hesitated for a moment, then walked over to the water tap. She carefully turned it on, letting the cool water flow over her paws, and mimicked her friends by lathering the soap into bubbles. Gently rubbing each of her fingers, she meticulously washed them as sparkling droplets slid off her paws. "Wow, they're super clean now," Lucy exclaimed, her eyes widening with delight as she admired her sparkling paws. Shaking her freshly washed paws with satisfaction, she said, "Washing my hands really makes me feel so refreshed." Little dog Eddie stood nearby with his hands on his hips, nodding in approval, his ears playfully moving as if to commend Lucy's effort. Little rabbit Max happily jumped up, his long grey ears swaying with every move, and a bright smile spread across his face. Washing our hands is really important, isn't it? Now we can safely enjoy our snacks. Little Panda Bella stood under a tree, gently clasping her hands together and smiling tenderly. Her black and white fur glowed softly in the sunlight as she said, "Lucy, you've learned a wonderful habit." Lucy looked at her paws and nodded happily. With her clean paws, she picked up a cookie and took a joyful bite. "From now on, I'll always remember to wash my hands before eating." She smiled contentedly, her ears swaying gently, radiating confidence and joy. Next episode preview: the Dining Table Etiquette Challenge. Lucy and her friends will learn how to be polite guests at the forest dining table. Will they successfully complete this challenge? Stay tuned.